my name is Chukumeka, Chukes for short. My pioneering spirit is important because it enables me to transcend the limitations of my mind and my heart to evolve into the better version of me where I can love and be with people more.
Hello, and a big hello. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this extra special Adoption Arena podcast snippet of the conversation that I had with the amazing Shefali Chandra. Now, Shefali was never adopted, but she was in care and then she was long-term fostered. And she shares her story, but also what she's learned in her incredible life journey. You're not going to want to miss this. So please do listen, share it with your friends. The full episode is out next week, or if you're listening back, just dive straight in if you would like. I so want you to get this because I just love the way she paints beautiful word pictures. And we talk from everything about seasons and greetings. Now, the great thing about seasons is that if we can learn from what other people have learned in their life season, it means that we can then go into maybe a difficult season like winter with courage, but also with knowledge and wisdom that we can learn from someone else. So this is a really fantastic piece of conversation that you're going to really want to listen to. It doesn't matter whether you've been adopted or fostered in care. Listen, this knowledge is for anybody who just wants to move on in their lives, be a pioneer, because like I've said before, really, we all have to be pioneers of our own life if we're going to have the courage to reach our full potential. So let's just dive straight in, and trust me, the full episode is incredible. Shefali talks about her name, how she's navigated around having different names. She talks about some advantages that could be made in the care system. We talk about even just some fun things. We even do an adoption, fostering and care quiz. Listen, this is a fun quiz. You're not going to want to miss that either. We talk about well-being, mental health, loads and loads of tons of great stuff. So listen, sit back and enjoy this super special, short episode.
Foster mother was telling me I was adopted, but actually I wasn't adopted. So I grew up thinking I was, but I wasn't. And that played out quite a lot of insecurity in my life. So it was about not being able to have any answers. That's one of the things that I was angry about. They didn't help me. The experiences, the negative experiences of life do not have to define us. I do a lot of work with Barnados, but I think about the care system in the sense that there needs to be, I think, more discussion with care leavers, young care leavers and young adults, using their experience in training and advocacy. Oh, I definitely have a favourite colour. They are of the purple colour, and I'm magenta. And I really, really appreciate the deep colours and vibrant colours of, I have to say, India. I've lived in many countries, but I have to say that India is one of the most vibrant, colourful places that I've ever been to. And that's what I really, really like. I was invited to the 150th anniversary of Barnados a couple of years ago to the garden party, the Queen's garden party. And my husband, sadly he's died now, but he was still alive then. I went with some other people because I sit on the National Council for Old Girls and Boys for Barnados, do a lot of work for that, with Barnados for that. Anyway, we went as a group and we were invited as a group, and it was a really, really lovely time together. And the very fact that I had been able to do a lot of different things in the 150th year, like videos, like telling our stories, which is partly what we do in Barnados, about helping old girls and boys, about raising money, about being an advocate. All of those things came together on that day. And we were actually given red tickets, which meant that we could go into the royal tent. Now, there were only so many tickets that were given, and there was several of us from the group that were allowed to do that. And I felt that that was a real honor and a real pinnacle of where I'd come from at the very beginning. You know, Barnados has a saying and a sign that's up outside one of the oldest, the first homes that Dr Barnados ever had, and it says no destitute child will ever be turned away. And I always remember that. That's a legacy. I live in the legacy of that. You know, I was given a chance through Barnados when nobody else wanted me, and they didn't turn me away. And that is something that I think about a lot when I'm working with other people. So there is that Barnados thing of the honor of being able to go there, but there's also that saying sticks with me whenever I'm working with anybody that is struggling with life. They don't have to be adopted, they can have all sorts, everybody has all sorts of issues. I remember that Barnados never turned anybody away. They, you know, worked with them. And that's what I feel as though I've tried to achieve, just to be accepting of people where they're at, who they are, and to try and help them or support them or find a voice, find their own voice, not my voice, not my words, but to listen to them. It's one of the greatest things that we can do for each other and humanity, is to give time to somebody else and to listen. But I think that the story is so much wider than that. I think we'll all have seasons in our lives of adoption stories, as we said, of good things, and it's not all negative, but we've got to be able to share both, because it makes us who we are today. And I know I use this picture, but I say sometimes I'm like one of those brazier. I'm like, is it, you know, it's like when they got holes in them, and sometimes they got a fire, you know, you warm yourself by them, but they've got these holes. And I said, I sometimes feel like a perforated person with holes that can't be filled. But even through my searching, even finding my birth family has not been able to fill the holes in me. Actually, nothing has filled those holes, because they're supposed to be there. Because the thing about a brazier, which is not being enclosed, is that it lets out light and it lets out heat. So I see myself, my part of my identity is like one of those braziers, where the difficulties of life, the fun things, the great memories, and also the memories that aren't so great, I've been able to work through with many different people and in different ways, to be able to let that light, let that heat, let that warmth, really, of being able to find a way through, to gather other people around, and they can warm themselves on what are still holes in my life, but they don't have to be closed off. They're not closed off, and there's reasons. It gives out more heat. It gives out something more when you allow people to see the holes. And I believe that there's a time for all things, and there's a season for all things. And like every season, things pass. But one of the greatest things is taken from autumn, really, when the leaves start to fall off the trees. And was reading something about when leaves get ready to fall. We know the way that the greenery disappears and it goes back, all the goodness goes back into the root of the trees. It's about the tree itself won't let go of that leaf until it's the exact right time for that leaf to die. We find our families, we find somebody, a birth member, and we so want all the information. We want everything all at once. We've waited a whole lifetime to meet people, but it's not going quick enough, and it's not going the way that we want to. And then we can, and I've done this and have made mistakes, push buttons and do things that are out of season, and it won't produce anything. So even in the season of adoption and searching and healing for ourselves, we just need to listen to nature. Let it be. And we will find that it will pass and fruit will come from another season. We're on a whole life journey here.
Hi, my name is Chukumeka, Chukes for short. My pioneering spirit is important because it enables me to transcend the limitations of my mind and my heart to evolve into the better version of me where I can love and be with people more.